rebuild our industries. There's no way that we're going to save the planet if we don't develop super efficient technologies and then export that technologies around the world. So China and India, between the two of them, have almost 40% of the world's population, well over a third of the population. Right now what we've been doing is we've been dismantling our old, highly polluting factories in Germany and in America and other places of the world, and we've been shipping them to China, where they've been putting them building them in China. They've been dismantling them, ship them over, put them back together. So all we've done is we've moved the polluting and the pollution from one location to another, but it's taking the planet down. So we have an opportunity, while our world is still working well, to take our industries and rebuild them as super efficient industries and then transport that technology to the third world. They have a right to it too. Plus, if the third world takes the systems of the world down, it still takes us down. Number 6, fund and support renewable energy development. This is key because as oil goes down, there's no way we can maintain a technological society unless we have something to replace it with. Now, one of the definitions of sustainability is that if you're taking a non-renewable resource, you can burn it and use it sustainably if you're using that non-renewable resource to develop a renewable replacement. So right now, we're not doing that at all. But that is the effective use of our legacy of fossil fuels, is while we still have the legacy, we use that legacy to help manufacture the replacement for that, the renewable replacement. Eliminate population growth. There's absolutely no way that you can have a sustainable planet if the population continues to grow. You will eventually outgrow the ability of the planet to support people. I mean, roughly in 1980, when we had a population of just a little more than half of what we have now, 3.5 billion people, at that point in time, we passed the point where we were actually consuming more of the natural resources of the planet than the planet could handle. So in 1980, we passed that point where we had overshot the Earth's capacity to support the number of people. Now, that doesn't mean we can't support more than the 3.5 billion people we had on the planet then. What it means is we can't support them with the ecological impact that they were having on that planet. So if we can reduce our impact and live more efficiently, we can support more people. Now, there's some that argue that with fossil fuels, the only way we could even support 3.5 billion people sustainably was with fossil fuels. And without those fossil fuels and without replacing them with a new technology, we couldn't even come close to supporting 3.5 billion people on the planet. It's more like 1 to 2 billion. So how we handle the transition will have a lot to do with how many people we can actually support long-term on the planet without collapse and without most of them dying off. Number 8, share the wealth. We have to have binding multinational regulation that basically says to a third world country, we're going to provide financial incentives for you to keep these rainforests, for you to keep this part of the ocean healthy, for you to maintain the natural resources that maintain health on the planet. See, in the Western world, we've colonized the other parts of the world, and so England was living off of the wealth gathered from all over the planet. Japan supports all of their people because they're taking from the ocean and from other parts of the planet to support all those people. If we don't provide incentives to the third world to save those natural resources, they'll say, well, you've used all these resources to build wealth in the western part of the world. We have poor, starving people. We need these resources. We have stolen the wealth of the world to provide the Western lifestyle. We must give the wealth of the world back if we're going to save the natural systems which will support life on our planet. We must share this wealth and technology with those third world people. They have a right to it too. And if we don't, the systems will collapse and it'll take us down. Even though we're in first class, we're on the Titanic. And if this Titanic goes down, it takes first class down along with third class.